Hoogan's hotter than hot.
Yeah, don't adjust your eyes, fellas. Pharaohs. It's Hoogan cough cough. Yes, I'm in a frog suit. No, you cannot pull this off. Let's get it down.
Okay, let's go.
To the park, green fleece on my back, Velcro under the chin. Yeah, I'm carrying the track. Right, please slow. Tail wagging to the snare. All the alphas looking mad, but I really do not care. See a Doberman flexing, trying to guard his little click. I just hop over a puddle, leave him looking mighty
Sick.
a basic brown mutt. I'm a neon amphibian, stepping in the dog club, changing the meridian. Your bark is kind of loud, but your bite is just a joke. I don't even got to growl, I just hit him with the croak.
That's my voice.
Hop up, make way for Hoogan. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin' and approving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, I said it, the fattest got to hear me, God. Leave your boys to the least, got them living large. Yeah, walk past the water bowl, give a little wink. Got a poodle and a bug, both offering a drink. Your boyfriends are sniffing each other's jump out of tree trunk. These bitches want a prince, well I'm the green prince of funk. Got a Frenchie on my left, got a husky on my right. I'm looking so fly, I'm looking out of sight. I'm a cold-blooded killer in a warm-blooded body, rolling through the dog park, turning it into a party. Y'all are chasing tennis balls. I'm chasing finer things like a reservation for two, fit for a frog king. Pop, make way for Hoogan. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin' and I'm proving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, sudden, the fattest fits in them, y'all. Leave the horns on release, got him living yards. I wanna mention Marcus, cause he's on this track. I'm flying, I'm floating like Shaq. I know for a fact I'm not on Epstein's list. I got my own feel with the bitches I kiss. I ain't got ticks, my DJ's beat matching. I ain't got fleas, that's my DJ that's scratching. I got mojo, I got swagger, I strut.
I have a current Hoogan alert. Hoogan has puked after eating. He did eat grass earlier. And then his daddy, not me, his dad's boyfriend, stepped in the pukey right in front of the desk. He's loogied it in between his toes, smashed it in between his toes, which is, stop. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'll continue the song. Oh, toes.
As you, dog, you just a silly mutt. Bitches be thirsty, I'm a man's nightmare. The Dow was at 50, so I don't care.
I don't remember signing on to this. I was once inside Hoogan until Dad gave him his heart.
Okay, I'm better. We figured it out. Oh, God. When you said smashed it between your and I repeated it, I saw it in my face. I saw it in my face, in my brain face. I saw it in my head hole. It's safe. Everything's safe. Oh, God. Hoogan's dropping bombs indeed. It is the worst. It's bad. I'm sorry I shared it with you, but I had to. You kids know everything about me and the Moose Lodge. Also, very close to a chain reaction. I almost set something off in the Colt, and I do apologize. Colt puke sesh? My treat? Yeah, fresh poop is worse. That is worse. Especially human. Also, you're being hypnotized right now, so just go with it. I love you all. Welcome to a very rare afternoon drive home live. Okay? Derek Carney, you're in here. I see you, hun. Thank you for the theme song. If you guys like it, go follow Derek's beautiful, wonderful channel. Okay? YouTube.com. You can put at Derek Carney. It'll take you right there. Okay? And I'm sorry for what I said about Ricky Lake earlier. She is a hero. I'm pretty sure she stopped 9/11. So let's all chill. Yes, Derek made it. Thank you, Derek. Hello, Noel. Hello, Y2K survivor Pat Sanford. You've left the FBI. Okay, so why are we here? So many reasons. First of all, playoffs are tonight. I can't be dicking around. You understand? It's go time. The dark casinos aren't going to rob themselves. So I had to push this shit up. But at the same time, I had a lot to tell you because sweet Mr. Derek may have solved a crime. He got a tip in a crime and he mentioned it in the chat, in the last chat, I believe, right? Possibly the one before that. I don't know. My days are all blending together. Dad's very tired. Dad's car has been broken. And while Dad's trying to get it fixed, Dad's had to travel by foot in the Texas heat. It's very humid. It's over 100. I don't know what day it is, Derek. 2 days ago. Excellent. So with that said, Derek told us a little bit about it. I knew some. I did not know all. I now feel very enlightened. Because when I say I rabbit holed, I holy rabbited and I rabbit holed. I pigeonholed. I went into all the holes. Okay. I listened to the gossip. I read it. I read Reddit. I went through the news. I started looking into public records. Good. Fuck him. Give him the death penalty. He should have gotten it just for his personality. Don't tell me. I already know, but it beckons. With that said, the case of Brian Egg is very, very spooky dooky, very intense. And I am now enlightened, Derek, and I'm ready to take your information. We don't have to necessarily put it all out there. You know what I mean? But I'm ready to now consume it and accept it. It's a fucked up case. It got me thinking about a couple of other cases. Hello, Laura. Lunchtime Laura is here. Laura, hello. I'm staring at the gold spoon right now and having fond memories of your visit. It's nice to see you. Exactly. Noel knows what the fuck is up. So with that said, we're going to talk about Brian Egg, his situation. I'll show you some wild stuff with the case. I'm very upset that it hasn't been solved because everyone knows who the fuck did. This is, you know how there's cases where it's like, oh, everyone knows this person did it. Definitely they did it. Everyone knows. My Hive cover up is not working. It's not, the Hive patches, it's visible. I will put on a filter. So the point is also, go Spurs go. Wemby killed it last night. That case is really fucked up. Everything but the dude's name because I don't want him killing me before the game. Exactly. We don't even have to go that deep. But Derek has been calling it. You tried to submit a tip and stuff for this specific case that we're going to talk about today. And I figured probably also would work better for Derek if when he's talking about it in chat, if you guys knew what he was talking about. And sometimes chat can go fast. It's hard to read. It's an interesting case. It's Derek adjacent. He makes a theme song. I can't see a reason why we don't look into this and talk about it. But it's one of those cases where it's like we know exactly who the fuck did it. It's very obvious who the fuck did it. I'm very upset for the neighbors, the siblings, the friends of this guy. Oddly, I have found online in a couple of different forums, including Reddit, one or two entities, screen names we will not get into, but maybe later. Maybe another day. Maybe we'll do a deep dive on a members only. And let me just say this. There are people who are talking shit about the victim, who, by the way, ended up headless, torso, like everything chopped off of him and floating headless in a fish tank in his own house. It's a really sad, fucked up story. And he seemed to be a fucking incredible guy in a thriving LGBTQ community. He was a bartender. He lived in San Francisco in a really cute house. And he was in his 60s, and he was just a sweet old man retiring. He did go to the homeless shelter to help the homeless. And he would offer to let people stay with him and get back on their feet. Now, there are a couple of people online, 2 in particular, who have been making a lot of claims about this man, saying awful things, accusing him of grooming people at the homeless shelter and all this shit. Wouldn't you believe it? When you look into some of these accounts, they seem to come back to a group of people that at one point in time were there in that area and now seem to be out of state magically, even though they didn't leave the state for a long time before that. It's just kind of odd. And it makes me wonder, I wonder if, Derek, maybe we can talk about this publicly after this episode. Maybe me and you can do an email sesh. We can get together. I could call you, and then I could call you. I could give you a Julia. I could see how you're doing. Do you like the trimming? What do you think of my ceiling fans? But we could talk about it, and then we could do an episode where you can come on and tell us what you want to tell us. And we can discuss this case, because it seems pretty clear that the police aren't fucking moving on it, or the DA isn't. And it's really disturbing because there's plenty of fucking evidence. This is also one of the strangest, I don't know why it never occurred to me, like, as someone who has actually cleaned up a crime scene or two back in my day, like, it's strange to me that it just never occurred to me that someone would hire a crime scene cleanup to clean up an actual crime scene before reporting it to the cops. Never. It's full throttle, of course, Derek. Of course, always full throttle. They are, I hope they do check his phone, but we're going to talk about this fella, what happened to him. I'm going to show you the area. I'm going to show you his house. The police have not done shit. Agreed, Derek. In fact, they've done the opposite of shit. They've been given so much information. It is hand packaged for them. Perfect. Ready to fucking go. And they took it and they just threw it back in everyone's fucking face. And it's disgusting. The response, let me connect it to another case. Kind of reminds me of Roxanne Paltoff, how it took days for the police to really get their fucking ass in gear and go full throttle on it. And they ended up missing out on a lot of evidence, which brings me to my next point. Before we continue the theme song, RoxannePaltoff.com is now officially up. Let me get rid of banner. Okay. And let me put comment and pin comment. If you go to RoxannePaltoff.com, check out this case. Any opportunity you get. Her sister will be on the show soon. I've been working with her for like over a decade now, I think, on her sister's missing persons case. It's here out of Austin. Me and her sister found phone records that the police didn't have, roaming charges, and had to basically fight them to take the info. And it ended up being pretty good info. It led to some search warrants, another pop on the news, but then nothing, because then the investigators change again and again and again, and they have to all catch up every fucking time. It's like having the same meeting 20 times. So her sister, in an effort to do something to push it forward, started a website where she dispels rumors, she clears up the facts, she posts evidence, she talks about her sister, and she shows you pictures of her, and she talks about the case so that you can learn about it. And yes, it's been on ID Network. It was on the show Disappeared. It's been on True Crime Daily. It's been on like every crime show you can imagine. Of course, I'm going to freeze right there. That's embarrassing. But they always fuck up one or two things. They always like say something wrong, or get a fact wrong that's very integral. And a lot of people will speculate, presuming that she was lured into sex trafficking or sex work. There's also the police themselves tried to say that a specific serial killer was not in the area. And we looked it up and found proof that he actually was. So police be fucking up everywhere. I think getting a website with all the right information out there that's cleared up is so brilliant. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Again, her sister sent this to me. We might be adding some things to it. We're going through and looking what can be done. But she made this herself for her sister. And she put so much effort into it. I'm so proud of her. Rosa, if you see this, fucking incredible. She asked me for notes. Like, what can I add? I'm like, dude, nothing. Like, you did. This is perfect. There's like one or two little things we could do. But then I looked at it and I was like, no, it's in there. She included everything. So I'm super proud of her. This is the website. Help bring Roxanne home. It's roxannepeltoff.com. It gives you all the facts. You can submit a tip. You can read her story. You can look at old pictures of her. Remember these? We used to get these pictures at the mall. Maybe I'll show you some sometime. Used to do that with my hair. She's a beautiful girl. Got in a fight with her boyfriend here in Austin. He was very abusive. He was a piece of shit. He lied about his age. He was essentially a pedophile. He lied and said that he was much younger. He was actually 28 when she was 16. And he looked very, very young. And she was last seen at a Budget Inn here in Austin in 2006. Foul play, we believe, was definitely involved. I do think the boyfriend did it. And yeah, actually, that's interesting, Jack, because me and her sister were talking about this private land in Southwest Austin a while back. Not only the boyfriend, but a man named Jeffrey Moore, who is a deaf public motivational speaker who also runs a lot of MLMs. He got busted stealing from the deaf community, defrauding them. He got busted with a machete trolling for toots on Middle Fiskville Road a week or two after her murder. He was caught trying to choke out a stripper who he assaulted in this exact hotel shortly after that. And he works with children, teen girls, teen kids, also runs a deaf cruise line where he just parties all the time, has a prominent family. He's the guy who had her ID in his car. Now, interestingly enough, I was able to find someone who was a witness to some things that happened at that hotel, who not only maintains that she actually saw Roxanne that night, and she ended up finally doing an interview with the police, which she tried to get for many years. But she told us some interesting things about a box of IDs that were in Jeffrey's house, a whole box full of them. And she knew names. And what's even more interesting is one of those names was a woman who was found murdered, chopped in a dumpster. Now, they busted her boyfriend for that. But there was also another woman involved who was helping try to find Roxanne, who was on the streets, named Loretta Lynn Roberts, who ended up dead down at the river a few days after talking to Roxanne's mom on the street. Laura, goodbye. Have a good day. Stay cool. So this is a whole fucked up situation, but we're going to have her sister on soon to talk about this. And this is the new website. In the news, how to help, contact, submit a tip. It's all here. And we will go much further in depth on this later. But let's just say there's a lot of suspects. There's Jeffrey. There's Lewis. In my opinion, I do think they need to take a hard look at Darren Dion Van, who lived right up the road. Literally 1 block walking distance. And they need to look at his. I do believe the boyfriend 100% had something to do with it for sure. I do believe he might have gotten assistance from a cousin, and or, in just my opinion, allegedly. And at some point with Jeffrey, because he has lied. And he's done very violent things to women, and he has a lot of strange shit connected to him, quite frankly. So that is the website. Please check it out, and we will have her sister on soon, maybe even her mama. We'll see what we can do. Okay? So that is roxannepeltoff.com. You know what's interesting is the police never could find one, but me and her sister found one. Not only did they travel together to Houston with a woman who they were trying to traffic together, allegedly, a few years ago. He lived in the same apartments as some of Lewis's family at one point or another, and they're known friends. They have a known connection. They've referenced each other. And in the first interview, Jeffrey even said, I give people rides and I knew them. And then in the second one, he said he met them at a bar on 6th Street. So he lies. He also was never actually formally interviewed. He was spoken to over the phone, and they gave him back Roxanne's ID. Her mother to this day has not gotten Roxanne's ID back, which that's illegal. And the police gave it back to him. Because when he was choking the sex worker in the hotel, she wasn't even a sex worker. She was a stripper. She was supposed to dance for him. And he started choking her and tried to kill her. Security guard busted in. He takes off running. He runs out the room. He drops his wallet. Roxanne's ID's in it. He claims she dropped it in his car when he gave her and her boyfriend a ride home. So naturally, the police take this evidence and give it the fuck back to him. The idea of a missing teen girl. So it's fucked. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to try to unfuck it. Okay. Next thing. So that's one thing I want to show you. Where's my list? Oh, here we go. Here's the other thing I want to show you real quick. We've got, actually, you know what? Let's finish the theme song and then I'll show you this next thing. And then we will get to the point. Here we go. We will get to the subject matter today. And yeah, and by the way, that's not even fucking half of it, Jack Smith. It is fucked. There are so many things that are misconceptions about her case that were never really corrected over time. And it's just incredibly sad because there's so much that could be done. Hell, there was a guy in another prison who tried to admit to murdering her just to get out of jail, to get a transfer, to get a Dr. Pepper. And he made it all up. Like, he's a prick. He tried to convince some realtor in another state to start a podcast with him over it to build up coverage and try to make money off of it. It's so sad. It's so fucked up. And don't even get me started on the time a psychic tried to tell her sister this is where the body's buried, but forgot to say, by the way, I think I'm psychic. She said it like it was a real tip. Got everyone worked up in a tizzy. It was like, oh, they're like, how do you know? Oh, I had a dream. And that kind of false hope fucking pisses me off. So I chewed her ass on Twitter. That was a big one. And then I sent her a lot of very angry emails. I don't even know if what I said to her was technically, ethically okay, but I said a lot of nasty things to that woman anyway. Welcome to the show today. We're going to talk about Brian Egg in a minute. Here we go.
I make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm grooving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, sudden, defy the future limit line. Me the boy, you're the least that I'm living life. Yeah. Shout out to Dad in the Pharaoh chat. Ernie, Birdie, Mitty, Claudia, Tip, Darlene. Wish I could fit everyone into this song. Yeah, Amra, Tish, Toms, Steven, Satan, damn it, Kevin, you wrong. Ladies, you don't gotta get all bent. Who's more fresh than 50 Cent? You might not think he's cool, you might not think he's nifty, but Hugin don't count. The Dow Jones at 50, we out.
He said it, we out.
The Dow Jones is at 50. Okay. When in doubt, just remember the Dow Jones is at 50. Oh, what's the matter? Oh, what's the matter? There's crime and destruction everywhere. We can't afford to pay our bills. It's hot outside. The president's a psychopath. It's okay.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000.
Okay. Now, I feel like before we get into darkness and sadness again, and I agree with you, they should. It's called tampering. Motherfuckers, stop tampering. Go full throttle on tampering? Trying to do a tamp on me? How dare you? How dare you? Grounded for tampering. No, these people should be covered in peanut butter and ants and tortured like by a cartel or something. We are. We're running out of water and electric. But when you get upset about things like that, just watch silly videos. So we're going to prep with this silly. I laughed for 15 minutes the other day at this. I've seen it before. I've seen this show. I think it was Locked Up or something. I've seen it. It's been on A&E in a couple of different places where I've taken my car to get oil changes, for sure. And when I tell you, I don't know who I love more. I don't know whose fly I want to be. I don't whose beard I want to be more between this kid, the lawyer that we all love. You know what lawyer I'm talking about, right? Megan and Megan's arch nemesis.
Your Honor, defer. Miss Janice.
Judge Athens.
Your Honor, this is so unfair. Your Honor, I think I want to appeal. Your Honor. Your Honor, stop. This is propaganda. Your Honor, this is fake. Don't believe what they say.
Looking like fucking Hudson dressed him. That dude. Your Honor, this is fake, Miss Janice. Stop. Yeah, I want to be his beard. I was such a good beard in high school. Tell them what a good beard I was to the Shawns. I was a beard. All my boyfriends were gay. Dylan knows them. We went on vacation. Yeah, he fucked them all. We went on vacation with. He went on vacation with my first boyfriend. I was me and Dylan and his husband and the Shawns, the big gay Shawns, who, by the way, send their love to the cult. I told them about you. They love the idea of indoctrination and starting a movement to do really relatively nothing or as minimal as possible. The gays love me. I love them. I'll cover for them. You don't want to go to that camp? I'll go. You want to go to prom? I'll go. Dylan. A gay would never do that. Yeah, I'm doing my show. I forgot you're doing your show. You're just like mom. Oh, honey, you got one of your little skits you're doing? Honey, you doing skits? Stop. Anyway, we're going to have to delete that. Thanks, Dylan. Thanks for the editing. Thanks. No. No, you didn't wait long enough. Stop.
I know when I'm allowed to cuss and fart.
You know what? You're never allowed to cuss and fart. I'm sending Dylan to this jail.
Hi. So you've never been here before?
Never been in jail before, and I'm really scared because I don't know who these people are.
How many drinks did you have last night?
I had 2.
2, that's it? Mm-hmm. 2 really big ones?
2 regular ones.
Is that a hater mark on your neck, or is that a bruise?
Let's just say I'm really popular. Am I going to be in like a jail with like a lot of like ghetto people?
You're in jail.
Am I going to be with these people? Are they going to like rape me or anything? Am I going to like, I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared. I told Melanie, the officer, and she told me not to call her Melanie. So I was like, I'm like scared. I don't want like these guys to like rape me, and I want to become like.
By the way, he's talking about Melanie Little. She used to work in this job. I'm just kidding.
Pregnant when I come out of jail or anything.
Unless you have a uterus, I don't think you're getting pregnant.
Okay, perfect. That's all that matters. I'm not a slut, I promise.
So I had to follow that up because we're doing an LGBTQ friendly story brought to us by LGBTQ HDTV Derek, who was turned gay by the FBI. So I'm like, I got to show you the best. Now, I don't actually know if this woman's LGBTQ, but she could pick up heavy stuff. So I feel like she could be, and I love her for that. Also, I was just so impressed by how she picks up these balls. Look at these giant balls. This woman, she's basically Maya Lesnar, jacked, a little more jacked. I don't know. It looks like she has one of those pillowcase tags coming out of her shorts. Not sure why. Maybe it's keto tape. I don't know. But she's picking up these 500-pound balls. I don't know. It's insane. She is the mountain. Anyway, her name is Hannah Lindsay. And she's picking up stones. And I know that Canadians like to cheat when they get close to stones. So I'm going to assume this one is American. I don't know, though. I could be completely wrong. Here we go. You can tell those are heavy. She turns purple. I want to know how heavy they are, and I want to know if I can pick them up. Does anyone know what this event is? 6 Mons Meg Stone. Does anyone know what any of these words mean? 6 Mons Meg Stone, and what this event is, and how I pick up one of those giant bulls. Because I would like to see how heavy that is. Here we go. Happy birthday to your kitten, to your kitty.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before.
That is what this is sponsored by today. She's still a baby cat. Excellent. Happy birthday. Listen, happy birthday to all your pussies, okay? Happy birthday, y'all.
Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My 2 children, Eli and Emma. We like to call them the Little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
The prayer is done. The prayer is done, everyone. Okay, it's time to talk about the thing. Well, actually, I have another thing on the agenda before we do that. There's more to show you. There's plenty more. One of the important things that I thought you needed to know without a doubt is about this thing that's happening, because I did tell you how basketball is new second favorite sport under wrestling, of course, possibly beating tennis at the moment, but regardless, it's the finals. I'm learning about basketball, and in a very short amount of time, yes, strongman. There you go. 400 fucking pound stones. 400 pounds. That's right. It's a good one, Dylan. She picked up 400-pound stones. Goddamn. Her stones must be 400 pounds to pick those up, because that's crazy. That would pull my back out so fast. I don't think I could do that. Well, I did pick up Chris, my buddy Chris, who was over 400 pounds once, but that was a feat of strength out of desperation. He was drunk and going to fall. Atlas stones. Like Atlas Shrugged? I have no clue. I'm asking you guys what those stones were. But here's the thing. In honor of the alien Wemby, my new love of basketball, and I'm deeming myself a basketball expert all of a sudden after a brief 2 weeks of acknowledging the game, because I listened to a lot of podcasts about it and I asked Dylan a lot of questions. And so I feel qualified to announce to you that the Spurs will win. They will win it all because they have to. And because people are giving out conchas in the street. And because honking has come back. Now, there's a tradition in San Antonio that goes back to the 80s during the Admiral, David Robinson's era. And this is not shit that I know because I all of a sudden like basketball. I grew up around this shit. Saw my first pecker. A really pale individual, very small weenie, who ran across our church van naked after a YEC conference because the Spurs won the championships. And I was caught up in a thing called honking. It's a Texas thing. It happens with the Cowboys when they win, but briefly, because Dallas people are really rich. They don't do it that much. Kind of happens in Dallas and parts of Denton. But in San Antonio specifically, going out honking is a thing. Megan, grounded. I'm going to need you to represent me in court when I flip my shit on you, young lady. But it's this shit. Do your laundry, Amber. It's this shit where you say you want to go honking and people go, yeah. And then you go downtown by River Center Mall, by the Alamo, within a few blocks of where William Barrett Travis put his sword and said, honk, honk. He took his sword, he drew, he said, here's the line. And then he was like, all you motherfuckers who want to be little bitch ass pussies and sit here with your little fucking raccoon skinned hats and fuck around with a bayonet and get your ass handed to you by Santa Ana. You fuck off and stay there, or you can come on over here and we're going to go to the good buffet. We're going to an old country buffet, everyone. That's what William Barrett Travis said. And a couple of dudes were like, okay, I guess we'll fight. And then they got fucking annihilated. Okay. That's the story of the Alamo. Every couple of years, MC Chris goes there and cries because that's where he met his wife. And he announced that at a concert once. When I tell you StreamYard does not want me to succeed, Honda does not want me to succeed, comedy clubs don't want me to succeed, Texas wishes I would succeed, and God hates me. When I tell you that, I mean it, okay? But I mean the most that StreamYard has a personal vendetta against me. They are out to get me. And if you think that's paranoid delusion, then you're half throttle, and I don't need any part of it. No one wants me to succeed, Amber. Thank you for acknowledging. Elon doesn't want it. Okay. The sky gods, the moon in haterade right now. Full haterade. Fucking orbiting around me. White sage? No. No, that sounds a little racist. I don't want any part of that. Is that a woman who went to college in Alabama? What is that? Who's white sage? I don't want her. Nope. I have no intentions of harming myself, but the world has intentions of harming me. Make that very fucking clear. The point is, people in San Antonio, where I grew up, we go honking. Hello, Miss Jessica. Nice to see you. Very proud of you. I'm glad that people are getting into wrestling. That's fun. Now, I've moved on to basketball, but I'm still balls deep in wrestling. But today's basketball day, Jessica. So I'm going to need you to go visit another person on the internet and learn about basketball and then tell me about that. And I want to know what you think about Wemby. Did SGA deserve the VIP shit? The fucking MVP, whatever it's called? Or did Wemby? What do you think about the beef with Chet Holmgren? Who's going to stop this tall alien in the paint? Go Spurs, go. Anyway, we do this shit in San Antonio called going honking. It's when you go in your car and you honk and you break the law and you go slow and you cut off cops. People give out conchas, which is a delicious dessert. People wave giant flags. People sell their t-shirts. You do shout outs to KTFM, the local radio station, for some reason. Like, Sometimes people get naked and they run across a church van. But I wanted to show you honking, which, by the way, again, it's something that the city of San Antonio does every single time the Spurs win. So I'm going to show you a couple of those, and then we'll get into Brian Egg. Okay? Now, also, just to be clear, just in case any of you guys started thinking maybe I'll get fresh today, maybe I'll fucking take a swing at dad. Just want to remind you that I bowl. Okay, so this shit I'm about to show you, all right, is an example of how we do. Okay, let me pull this up. First, we're going to start with one from 2013. 2013. This is an example of how San Antonio has historically behaved when our precious Spurs reach the finals. Why do I say our? Because I grew up there. And this is the type of shit you'd have to put up with at night. Or you can learn to like basketball. Now, it took me 40 years. But here we are. I find this enjoyable. I will finally take that comment down. So this is honking. The whole city does this, by the way. Streets get ruined. It's crazy. This is honking in 2013. Everybody in the city just found, this is like, it's a reverse 9/11. Remember how everyone found out all the things were happening? Everyone's sad. Imagine if everyone found out a good thing. The Spurs won, and then they went out in the streets and they're like, oh, let's look around and honk at each other and fucking throw shit at each other. Here you go. Now, I don't know if you catch that, but that's the police station right there. You will also see cops take part in this shit. Please notice how no one's going anywhere. Yet somehow the cars end up changing. Everybody's honking. You can't hear shit. People eventually learn to ghost ride the whip while also going honking. And nobody ever seems to get arrested until recently in my hometown where I went to high school. Did I tell you that out in Floresville, everyone's getting popped for honking? It's spread to the country, y'all. It's spread to the farmland. Because I lived in SA when I was little, and then we moved out to the farming area also when I was little. And they don't fuck around out there with it. You honk at anyone. You forget to lift 2 fingers and tip your hat to a cop, and you're not only going to get your ass tore up with a nice speech from, your cousin's best friend's uncle who's a sheriff, but they're going to tell your parents or shame your grandmother in church. So the idea of this occurring out in a place like Floresville blew my mind. But now they're popping them for it. Let me show you that real quick. I'll let this play and then we'll see that. Remember when we talked about mums at homecoming and how some assholes took it too far and they started making life-size Whataburger mums and then dinosaur-sized ones and then building-sized ones? That's kind of honking has evolved much like that, and we took it too far. And you'll see the difference in a minute. Remember, this is 2013. Just keep that on your mind. Lots of toddlers in the street. There's going to be so many toddlers in the street that you're going to see in San Antonio. And in front of the police station, drunken adults everywhere, people vaping, hookah, standing hookah. Have you ever seen someone do a standing hookah on the street while drunk? I have. This shit. Pickpockets out. Toddlers in the street, dude. Because Spurs. So you get the idea. Like, this goes on for hours and hours, and it happens all over the city. And these people, it's like it's a parade, but all you have is a horn and a flag. Sometimes conchas. It is our Mardi Gras. It is. But if you show tits, a Catholic grandmother is going to come beat the shit out of you and then rub an egg on you. So don't. Have some respect. It's the Spurs. But if you're a pasty white dude on the freeway, it's fine to streak, apparently. I don't know. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why that was okay. I didn't like it. It fucking scarred me. I actually quite hated it. Let me pull up the next video for you, but first I have a speech.
My father gets a job at the Palm Restaurant. My Uncle Junior works there, who is a Jehovah's Witness, believe it or not. He went from Catholic to Jehovah. So basically, my grandmother wanted us all to switch from Catholic to Jehovah. You know, meanwhile, we're from Harlem. My father's doing coke. You know, my mother thinks she's Aunt Margaret. She's teasing the hair with a bottle of vodka. You know, so dysfunctional, cross-addicted family, still cooking pasta on Sundays. And the meatballs, they wind up being burnt.
So with that said, this is what they're doing in the town I went to high school in. This is the people. This happened last night, you guys. So the Spurs win, right? And this is what happens.
Well, as we first reported last week, some Spurs fans learning that too much honking can damage your vehicle's horn. But this past Friday, some Spurs fans who honked their horns in Floresville to celebrate the team making it to the conference finals, they got a traffic ticket. KSAT's Bashada Pope went to Floresville to find out if honking is out of bounds for Spurs fans there.
Most of us already associate the Spurs winning with the honking celebration down East Commerce and Southwest Military Drive. But Spurs spirit can't be contained. Take a look. Friday night, Spurs fans in Floresville took to the street to celebrate the team making it to the Western Conference Finals. Everything was fine.
This is so nuts. So my buddy lives in a funeral home over here. And his room is separated from the dead people by one wall. He has a lot of toddlers. He's probably, Charlie, I'm sorry. He's probably pissed about that. But I do support honking. My bad, dude. These are all tiny old stores that are historic, that they will not refurbish. This is a great restaurant, not gonna lie. It's called White House Cafe. It's pretty good. I can't believe they did this. This is so funny. This is a very small town. And they have come out to honk. Honketh. They do. Yeah, getting tickets. And this is the type of small town where if you don't pay your ticket, the sheriff will show up and make you go with him to stay a night in jail.
Everything was fine until a ticket book came out. This is one of those tickets. Beatriz Jimenez Marroquin says a Wilson County Sheriff's deputy issued her a ticket for excessive Spurs celebrating. She didn't want to go on camera, but asked us.
Yeah, but I know that name. from high school, pendeja. Girl.
For real?
I can guarantee you that there was no instructions for me to...
You could tell she's been smoking a lot.
Spoke with Wilson County Sheriff Jim Stewart over the phone, and he says he was unaware tickets were handed out until Sunday, and
Big Jim was passed out covered in barbecue sauce. He had no fucking clue what was going on. He didn't even know y'all bought them new trucks right there with the maroon shit on the side. He didn't know that.
Immediately started looking.
Big Jim is a drunk.
Into it. He says right now he only knows of 2 tickets being issued, and the violation is for unauthorized use of a siren or bell whistle, which is a very real traffic violation.
First of all, you are allowed to use your horn, and also Dylan, guess what the address is for the Wilson County Jail?
69420 Big Jim Highway.
No, it's 121 Dilworth Plaza. What if your full name becomes Dilworth?
How do you know it's not?
What if we legally change it?
My name's Dilworth.
Fuck.
Dillenworth II.
Dillenworth III. Look how it says email with 2 slashes. That's because we don't do none of that electronic mail. We got the Pony Express and the USPS, and it's fine.
But he thinks the county attorney probably won't prosecute the case. Check out the note the officer wrote. Repeated honking to celebrate Spurs win.
I just don't think this met the elements that they would prosecute the violation for.
And Stewart says he'll also make that recommendation to the DA's office. As far as honking in Floresville to cheer on the Spurs?
Basically, they're free to party and have a good time as long as you're not depriving somebody else of their ability to drive down the road.
Spurs fans are all across the nation, including right here in Floresville. And fans don't think honking is excessive. It's just a way to unite Spurs Nation. Kashana Pope, KSAT 12.
Right in front of this is a 4-foot-tall peanut statue. And after band, football, whatever the sport was, tennis, we would all go to it and people would hump it. It was fun. Meet at the peanut, hump the peanut, degrade the peanut. That's what we were about. Anyway, let's do one more video of honking. We can see how fucking crazy it is. This is Texas doing U's on military. Old. This is old. Here we go.
The start for the race of safe is looking pretty good. I thought we had animations, but that's just the crowd behind you. We're taking a live look outside at East Commerce Street as to be expected. Spurs fans are honking.
This is 1 mile. No, less than one, probably 2 blocks. Oh, there's the scooter, a Lime scooter at the, oh, that's the entrance. Okay, so there's a Lime scooter at the entrance of the Alamo. Jesus Christ.
Wow, what can you tell us? What can you show us?
So John Paul, I can tell you, it's getting cranked out here in downtown San Antonio, 11 o'clock at night. Spurs fans excited. Game 1 in the books, a W for the Spurs. Spurs fans letting the Spurs know.
This news reporter is excited and happy, but she looks like she's threatening me and talking shit to me. I bet we could put something cool over this and it would fit. Do you get the idea? Honking is just fucking honking. And it took me 20 minutes and 4 videos to tell you that. Okay? Welcome to the cult. You've been indoctrinated. All right. Next thing we're going to do before we talk about Brian Egg is a test of...
你好 Jack 我改变主意了我到这里来找
把手给我闭上眼睛快闭上！上来！
眉头看。
跨到栏杆上。抓住了，抓紧点儿，眼睛闭好了吗？相信我吗？
我相信你。
好了，睁开眼睛。
我飞了，这个。
来，伸出手，我拉你回来。
Never see
see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't lay on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Never seen a big boy drill on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy ain't drilling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. How you do it like that? Damn, you got boots on your back. Climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Oh shit, big boy get loose. Oh shit, big boy get loose. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never, oh shit, he's falling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy hop on the roof. How you do it like that? Bro, shit, you.
Ni hao, Jack. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Brian Egg. Are you guys ready? Are we awake? Are we ready? I lost 6 people that we didn't need, quite frankly. If they couldn't stand Titanic Pig, if they can't handle me and my Titanic Pig, they can't have me and my big boy on the roof. Okay? But anyone can catch me in my tailorship business. Okay, so let's talk about this fellow Brian Egg, who Derek's been discussing in the chat, so you can get some idea of what's going on. What I'm going to do things backwards. Usually, I'll give you a long, ranty speech, saying too much. That could be said in 5 minutes. And then I have you watch some news clips. I bitch about it. I read some of your comments, and then we call it a night. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to play through the news clips first, so you can kind of see what was reported on, how it was reported, because he started out as a missing person, okay? Real quick, missing person, all right? Neighbors notice, and I'll show you why I totally 100% believe that the neighbors weren't just being nosy or making shit up. The proximity to the apartment is a paper thin wall. So the neighbor, who, by the way, fantastic neighbor, you're going to see him in these interviews. His name is Scott Free. Okay, like as in got off scot-free. His name is Scott Free. Interestingly enough, he's not the one who got off scot-free. The 2 murderers who hired a crime scene cleanup crew, used this man's credit cards while his torso, head, arms, and legs were floating in a fish tank, hidden in a hidden area in his apartment. But you'll hear about all of that. And this neighbor was concerned, and so was his siblings. And they repeatedly asked for welfare checks from the police, who would show up. No one would answer. And then they would end up being like, nothing we could do. San Francisco, peace, treat. They'd leave. So once they rice-a-ronied out of there, then at that point it was like, okay, what do we do? He's not answering the door. He's got these 2 weird, dirty squatters living in his house who say that he went on a vacation, which is super unlike him. And they describe him, and everybody describes him as this lovely man. He's a staple in the community. He has a really cool painted fence on his unit that he ends up painting over in white in 2014. I'll show you some stuff on Google Maps so you can get an idea of the house and what it looked like after the squatters took it over, because he ended up never being seen again after I believe it was May or June of, I think it was May of 2018. And his body was not found till August. So he was a missing person. And then eventually the police went back over and over to check finally, because the neighbors are like, yo, there's a crime scene cleanup van here. And they're like squeegeeing dirty water that smells like bleach by the gallons out from the fucking baseboards and under the door of this house, the front door. Like they're literally cleaning a crime scene. Can an officer come here? These dirty squatters, like, maybe kill my neighbor. Like, this is so unlike him. They've been here. What the fuck? And the cops show up. They're like, you're fucking with his credit cards too? No. Punish. And then they put these fellas in jail. These 2 fellas, these squatters, these pieces of shit. And they're like, wow, you're just partying in his house, living it up. This is fucked up. And they start looking for evidence. Where is this guy? So we can have a case against these fucking peckers. And they're looking for this guy and they're looking everywhere and they can't find him. They end up doing 5 visits to the house before they finally uncover this area. Because apparently one detective is like, it's just eating at me. I can't sleep at night. So he's like, we got to go back. There's something there. They find a giant aquarium fish tank. A massive aquarium, and it's got his body parts floating in it, minus the head, I believe. Regardless, he is partsed out in the fish tank, hidden in the house, been there a while, probably doesn't smell good. Shocked it took him that long to find it. And now he's no longer a missing person. He's a homicide, and yet the DA let the squatters go. They ended up getting charged with some financial shit. Yeah, they did. They bought a BMW with his card. And one of them even committed identity fraud by pretending he was Brian Egg. He made a fake ID as Brian Egg. Goodbye, have fun. Dylan's been going on these trips on a scooter. It's like a scooter bicycle, and he's been going to every park. How many parks did you go to today, hon?
Like 10.
10?
I went to a BMX sand dune kind of thing. And I went to 7-Eleven just to get a drink, but then a lady got hit by a truck.
Yeah, he saw a woman get hit by a truck.
I saw the skate park. I saw the bridges. I saw it all.
You sent me, it looked like you were in an aviary. It looked like you were in Piedmont Park in Georgia. It was beautiful. It looked like Love on the Spectrum type of shit, like where they'd put Connor and Gigi in front of.
Make lime travel videos.
Yep. I told him, make these lime travel around, film this shit. He goes on adventures now because he discovered the power of the Lime bike scooter. Excuse me. When they tried to pull his torso out, the meat fell off of his bones. Yes, he was slush, and that is unfortunate and horribly, horribly depressing, heartbreaking, upsetting. And I can't imagine that being my loved one and the oversight being so lacking that they not only can't even acknowledge how horribly they, meaning law enforcement, fucked up this investigation, but the DA can't even prosecute. They are literally handed an aquarium full of evidence, a timeline. They have witnesses. There are ring cameras. There's cell phone. There's so many things that they could have done. You're telling me they got what do you call it? What's the word? I can't think of the word. They got by these 2 squatters. Like, that's like saying, oh, duped. I duped the FBI. A toddler duped the FBI. These 2 drug addict pieces of shit. These people couldn't even take care of themselves. They had to take advantage of a man who was trying to help them. You're telling me that they duped an entire police department in one of the richest cities in America? Exactly. It sounds like, and Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, sounds like some Michael A-League shit, doesn't it? Sounds a lot like... Derek, how do you keep knowing these people? But the guy whose name I got isn't one of those 2 guys. And that's why I'm wondering, is he connected? Because here's the thing. It's gotta... The neighbor identified these 2 people. They even said they saw one guy through the window who was a crime scene cleanup guy. But they partied with other people. Other people were there over that weekend, apparently, or the couple of weeks, but when it happened. And then we've got the David Celeste situation. What the fuck is going on? It's horrible. It must have been. Then he went to a party at the house around July or August. He said the fish tank was, this thing is blocking it, so I can't see it. Oh, I can read it up here. Was atop a piano. And they said, don't pay attention to the smell. Fish died. Wild. What did David say to Neo and the girl in that video? Sorry about the smell. There's some old trash in here. Ugh. Always an excuse. There's so much goddamn circumstantial and physical evidence. It's unreal. So let's look at these news stories, okay? And Derek, feel free to say whatever you're comfortable saying. Withhold whatever you need. And by all means, don't say anything that could compromise it all. But I'm also curious, are they even investigating at this point? Something needs to be done about this man. He's got a family. Like, what the fuck? You're telling me these little fucking vagrants are going to fucking get away with this? This is insane. They let them out. Then they asked Benny to drive them to the ocean beach. He thinks they got rid of the head and hands there. Interesting. That is crazy as fuck. We're going to do a whole episode where we're going to have to talk about this, Derek. Because this is, the more I read about this, the more angry I got for this guy. It also reminds me of a Canadian case where a man was a serial killer killing gay men and hiding their bodies in the planters because he was a landscaper. And he was hiding them in planters, I believe, on his client's property, on his property, around the city, shit like that. Fucking sad. Maybe around the neighborhood. I can't remember exactly. He's going to check his old phone. He took pics that day. Holy shit. Yeah, this is just so disturbing. This poor dude. So let's take a look at some of the news reports that were going on around that time.
In San Francisco, police finding a headless corpse inside of a fish tank at the home of a missing man. The remains have yet to be identified. The body was so badly decomposed that even the gender was unclear. Neighbors say that the homeowner, 65-year-old Brian Egg, had been missing for months and that they were getting concerned. They say that they called police to do a welfare check, but a different person answered the door.
Person who answered the
So
door
this is
told them
Scott-free, but I want you to notice something. So this is back when this happened, okay? So this is just shortly after this happened, like I believe a few weeks or something. It would have been a few weeks, maybe even 2 months. Yeah, in 2018. Because he hadn't been he was last seen in May. These squatters were in his apartment for a while. So when you look at Google Maps, which we're going to in a minute, you're going to see a couple of things I want you to notice. But one of them is, oddly, speaking of, and this fucking banner's in front of it, but I'll show you, he has the exact same looking planters that the Canadian serial killer guy would put bodies in. But they're beautiful planters. They're just fucking huge. We used to have 2 of these that unfortunately were in a storage shed we won at an auction. I say unfortunately because they weigh like 500 fucking pounds. But he's got these beautiful planters. This is when they find the body, right? If you go a little bit back on Google Maps, you can see what the property looked like by the owner, Brian, and how he maintained it. It's gorgeous. Lots of plants in the walkway. These white curtains were always spotless. The windows were shined. The house was white. I guess this guy would get like bright white. I think he would get it cleaned. It was really lovely. And then as time goes on, since he was last seen, you can literally see on Google Maps how it all goes to shit. The plants start dying in the front. The plants start dying in the doorway. It's obvious a neighbor might have moved out. The curtains get dilapidated. The outside structure gets dirty and dilapidated. Everything falls to shit. And eventually it ends up with boards on it. I would believe it. They sucked all the life out of this house, literally. The person in the house. These are, squatters piss me off so goddamn bad. Selfish motherfuckers. He lived in South of Market neighborhood. Yep. And you walk through this. I did the walkthrough videos, which I'll link below, where people walk through these neighborhoods. It's gorgeous. There's a Whole Foods nearby. This is one of those places just a block over where I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, there's probably an Equinox gym. Like there's definitely a big ass Whole Foods and a couple of Starbucks. Like it's nice. But this is like one of the rare remaining OG structures aside from this little brown one from what I could tell on this whole strip. The rest of it's all these boxy lofts, which I priced, and oh my fucking God, no one can afford that. So these fucking squatters took it over. Anyway, I'm going to let that continue.
That's the door, told them that Brian's gone away. He was on vacation. He was working on an art project in Truckee. Very unlikely story. We've known him for a long time.
Remember, Truckee is the artsy, woodsy community where Kylie Rodney went to that party.
Never done that. Well, we called 911 after a crime scene cleanup van drove here to clean up the scene. Person had been feverishly cleaning up the house. Looked like he was trying to hide evidence or something like that.
As that person said, neighbors
you know
say
what? Either my friend from New Orleans or his ex who confessed that he murdered Brian worked at that Whole Foods. That's fucking crazy. Starring that. We'll put that in our notes. Also, yeah, big ass Whole Food. We have one here too. Here in Austin, massive one. Laura saw it. I pointed to it. I was doing a guest tour. Like, let me show you. And look, you can see all the junk up on the windows, how it's all dirty. They really wrecked his shit, man. That's so sad. And oddly, you know what other case this reminded me of? The case in New Orleans of the couple with the girl who was killed in the voodoo house. So we've talked about it before. And she was chopped up and left on the stove. Like, this is sick shit. It really is, Michael A. Liggy. It's very, very gross. These people had to be on a ton of drugs. No excuse, but they need to be in fucking prison.
They saw a private crime scene cleanup to clean up the house before police discovered the body. When they called 911, they say that police came back to the house and found the body inside of a fish tank. Police would not confirm the details, but released this statement saying, "We have an ongoing missing person investigation. We have recovered remains during the investigation."
By the way, the police heavily edited. Yes, it was during Hurricane Katrina. We talked about that. When I was in New Orleans, did an episode about it when I came back because I went by that voodoo house and it was spooky. Didn't want to give him my money though. Did not go in. Just peeped a little bit. So, they really glazed over some shit here. First of all, the news makes it sound like, "Hello, C. Smith, welcome. Welcome, we love ya." The news here makes it sound like the police were called, they showed up, then they were called back once. No. The sibling called. I believe it was either brother or sister. Can't remember. A female neighbor called. Scott Free called multiple times. Okay. At minimum, it was 5. Quote me on that. It was definitely 5 at minimum. Hello, Auntie Ree. Nice to see you. So, the crime scene cleanup was hired to get rid of the evidence. It's shocking to me that they wouldn't confirm. Like, that's another thing is if you're told it's a crime scene and you need crime scene cleanup, one would think, ethically speaking, part of the job would be like, hey, where's the fingerprint dust? Where's any sign that this has been investigated? Would be a question I would ask. Now, the few that I've cleaned up definitely there was definitely signs that police had been there. Okay. And it was turned over to the crew. So, like, it's not like something where this is just a very odd setup. Usually there's a little bit of coordination. If not with law enforcement, there's awareness. Yeah, I would ask for a police report for sure. Hello, JG Cruz. Hello, Colt Baby. I hope Charlotte is sleeping well at night. Tell her she's still Colt later and ask her, what should we all wear tomorrow? Should we coordinate? So, They did a really, you'd think they'd take the remains. Well, they didn't. They hid them in an aquarium, apparently atop a piano. Someone on Reddit said something about that on an old Reddit post, Eric, and I wasn't sure whether to believe that or not. So I'm glad that you confirmed that. There's also things like that you can take out to use or that you can not take out, but that you can point out to use as validity, describing a scene of an area where a crime took place would be helpful. So if and when they do get back to you, I would highly recommend having your boyfriend sit down and write out an affidavit. Piano and then a hidden secret room. We're going to have to look at the Zillow on this. I'm going to let this continue. So it's not closed. They just are stagnant. They're literally not doing anything about it. It's fucking crazy. It's like the Katie Jeunesse case. They got their thumbs up their asses.
And we are awaiting the autopsy report. An open and active investigation continues regarding the missing person. 39-year-old Lance Silva was reportedly arrested in connection with the missing person case. Police are working to confirm if the body is Brian.
It is a murder that's hard to forget. 1 year later, friends and neighbors are...
So we're going to let it play through a couple of these. Yeah. Oh, they stole the dead man's credit cards to pay for that. Great question. That's how much a piece of shit these people are. Like that. Ugh, yes. Totally removed. This poor man.
We're still wondering what's happened to this high-profile case. Unfortunately, many questions are still unresolved.
It was quite a grisly murder, number one.
Simon Mark lives on Clara Street, a small alley south of Market. The same alley where 65-year-old Brian Egg lived, that is, until he went missing.
And he looks so familiar. He kind of looks like Pedro Pascal. Does anyone else see that?
Scott Free was also a neighbor and good friend.
When he just suddenly disappeared, I knew.
That's another thing. All his neighbors and friends knew him. It's not just these two. There are two other women and then another gay couple. And then this older woman and a security guard. All these people have spoken in interviews like, Scott took his trash out on this day. You know, Scott loved to water his plants. Scott was an artist. Scott liked to paint. Scott would have never let this get dirty. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like that they, with all these people to corroborate, we saw total strangers in his house on this date. They told us that he went to Truckee for an art thing. All of us agree that's fucking weird. Then there's like, literally they were, we got a picture of this car. We know what this guy looks like. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Had to be something amiss there.
That was back in June of last year. Neighbors also saw strangers in his home. Free asked police to do a welfare check on Egg. They did, but it was only cursory.
No response to the door and saw no suspicious circumstances.
In mid-August, a big break. Scott looked out his window.
A big white crime scene cleanup crew arrived.
Another frantic call to police. This time, responding officers found someone in the house and a strange odor wafting through a locked room. Police found a body without a head or hands in a large fish tank. They arrested Lance Silva and another transient living in the house. Both were charged
This
with...
guy looks like fucking David Beckham got put in a fucking blender. You're going to see the other one in a minute. Yeah, that was, so there were two people bad-mouthing him a lot, saying that he would groom people from the homeless shelter, which I was like, oh, rude to talk about the victim that way. But also, if he did, then that's fucked up. But either way, taking home a bunch of, being well known for taking home a bunch of transients, you know, does not always work out well. What do I mean by a bunch of transients? Well, it's really hard to rehabilitate someone if you are not rehabilitation counselor, a nurse, someone with the means to do so, someone with the experience, the knowledge, dealing with, drug addicts and specifically withdrawals, things like that, accountability, trust, all of these things that go into it. Surrounding yourself with people, obviously, who are dealing with those issues, and then you taking it upon yourself as a total stranger to pull them out of it when most of us can't even fucking pull ourselves out of these issues makes you very vulnerable. Let's just be real. Let's say it like it is. You become extremely vulnerable. And I do think that vulnerability, kindness, whatever you want to call it, exposes you to be taken advantage of. However, Kai the hitchhiker has a story where he killed an old man who was a very rich guy who brought him home. Now, his story was, I did it because the guy was trying to rape me. Now, I'm not sure whether or not that ended up being true or not, but there were a lot of people who had similar stories. And who knows at this point? That is not for me to judge. What I knows is that squatters who were not paying rent stole this man's shit, chopped him up, put him in a fish tank. Now, if he did something horrific to them, perhaps they should tell that to the police. But it seems that these fuckers perhaps hiring a crime scene cleanup, or maybe knew people who did, whatever put them in that position that day. It's bad for them. And yet somehow they got off. Which makes me think, Derek, your tip could be important. Oh, I have so many thoughts about that. Number 1, ew. Number 2, ick. Number 3, yikes. Number 4, weird. Number 5, you do you. And number 6, what the fuck is wrong with you, Asa? Jesus fucking Christ. Not a good idea, bitch. That's my last thought. But those are all my thoughts to Asa from here in Austin, Texas. Victoria, I want to hug her. I feel horrible for her. And then imagine having your crazy ass mom trying to fucking sleep in a kill room. Jesus. I can't get mom out of the kill room. She won't fucking leave. She's in there talking to to dad's victims. I would be pissed. Mom, grounded. Go fucking ride a scooter to the park, Mom. What are you doing? Yeah, of course, they don't leave. And also, you could have ended up for real getting Jussie Smollett. How do I know you didn't poison it? Well, yep, there you go. And how do you not know I did? Yep. Man, I know a couple who broke up and an hour later Hurricane Sandy hit and they were stuck in an apartment together having emotions. Kind of reminds me of that. They did go to jail for, I believe, fraud and stuff like that. Those ghosts will get her. It is sick. It's disgusting. I think that she sees herself as like some sort of true lies bitch. Like, maybe I can seduce the truth out of my husband. It can be our little game, but really I'm secretly gathering information for the police. Trying to be Carrie Rawson when she needs to focus on dealing with the reality that he did it. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. So they ended up dropping the murder or not going through with the murder charges. If the fraud charges were dropped, I'm going to have to clarify on that. Maybe they will tell us. Because I was reading a lot about this and there were issues. Mainly there was a fight between the DA and the investigators, I would assume, based on the way I was reading it. To me, it looked, again, like a David Celeste situation. He was a Rasta guy, saw on the train platform every day selling incense and essential oils, but I didn't know he was homeless until that freezing day. Oils ain't going to keep you warm. That's for sure. And they'll often make you get hives. Here we go. Let's continue.
theft, financial crimes, and homicide. Through DNA, the mutilated body was identified as that of Brian Egg. An autopsy concluded he was murdered and died from blunt trauma. 1 year later, still no arrests. Lance Silva and his friend were released. The DA withdrew the charges, saying more investigation was needed. Neighbors are frustrated at the lack of feedback from police.
As far as I know, nothing's happened, and I just wish that
You know,
the
I was
police were-
just thinking something like that. But also, Derek was in a Limelight video, literally behind Michael Aleg wearing a Paris Hilton or Paris shirt. So he might also be really successful if he were a woman. It's very scary. Ugh. Yeah, you're very compassionate, but you will end up getting murdered, and I need you to be careful. Okay? You just got to be careful, hon.
Being more active with the investigation.
Well, the DA's office says there are no charges because police have yet to present a case. And the SFPD says it's still under investigation. But one police
And the
official
DA
tells me-
also said, hey, this needs more investigation. And so the police are like, okay, we're going to do an investigation. We're doing that. We're investigating it. And then they're like, present your case. And they're like, we did. And you told us to investigate it. So do you see the loop-de-loop there? Ugh.
They are following, and I'm quoting him, some good leads. He says they're confident they'll make an arrest.
So that was a few years ago. Okay.
A gruesome discovery in a
And here is when they found it.
San Francisco apartment. A headless body found floating in a fish tank. The apartment belongs to a man who's been missing for weeks.
Neighbors tell us that they've called police, but nothing came of their concerns until police officers finally went inside. There they discovered human remains 2 weeks ago in the apartment on Clara Street in the Soma neighborhood.
KPIX5 Susie Steimel spoke to neighbors who'd been fearing the worst. Susie.
Well, Liz and Ken, Brian Egg's neighbors have been worried sick about him since they last saw him in June. They describe him as a fixture in the neighborhood, and they say that he often let transients stay in his home, and they were worried about his well-being. Well, now Brian Egg is the center of a homicide investigation.
I was suspicious already, and not just me, lots of other people too.
It's a mystery south of Market in San Francisco. Police confirm a handless, headless body was discovered inside a fish tank at 228 Clara Street. The body was so badly decomposed, police couldn't identify the sex. Scott Free worries it's the man who owns the home, his friend and neighbor, 65-year-old Brian Egg.
They're not officially saying that it is him, but I would be so surprised if it turned out to be someone else.
Scott started sounding the alarm on this months ago. He also called police asking for a wellness check. Police say they performed 3 separate wellness checks, but since no one answered the door and circumstances didn't appear suspicious, they didn't request a...
I mean, there was a crime scene van and people cleaning blood out of the house and a smell and a lot of concerned neighbors and family, and that didn't seem suspicious. Okay.
search warrant or ever go inside.
We don't just break down doors every time someone reports that someone is missing.
But like the crime scene thing, like there are a lot of other tells in there that would have made me break down a door. Huh. Sounds like some investigator needs to get a little hitch in his getup. Lazy bones.
Family and neighbors saying over and over again at that time that they thought he was dead.
I don't have information that said that they thought that he was dead, just that there was people that were coming and going and they hadn't seen
And
him.
that there was a crime scene van and that they were cleaning up crimes. Okay.
It wasn't until a crime scene cleanup truck arrived in front of Brian's home that police...
There we go. There we go. And also, don't forget that these people were using his credit cards, buying a car, squatting in his house, and said that he went to Truckee, which he never would have done.
finally went in.
If we hadn't said anything, would it have just been ignored all this time? The police didn't seem to take much interest at first.
Reporters asked police that very question. If neighbors hadn't been so persistent, would they have found the body by now?
We might not. That's correct. And that's where you usually rely on family or someone to let you into the place.
Okay.
Police did arrest.
You're police. You're not vampires. Okay? For fuck's sake.
2 persons of interest for financial crimes, identity theft, and homicide. They discharged the case
I thought
pending
they
further
just discharged the homicide case, but it looks like they discharged all of them, and that's fucking nuts.
They had to let at least one of them go. The other one's being held currently in Alameda County.
Again, this is old. He's out now. She's just realizing how horrible
Police are
that
waiting
is.
for the medical examiner to identify the body.
Ugh.
Ken.
Yeah, Susie, you first learned about this missing individual several weeks ago, and
yep. Wow, accountability. I'm glad the news is
that's
saying
right, Ken.
something.
The neighbors who've been so concerned about Brian Egg's well-being actually reached out to us, and then we reached out to police on August 6th and said, is there any investigation going on? Is there a missing persons case open? They told us no. They told us today on August 7th.
That's crazy because his sibling is on podcasts and on the news and on various interviews saying that he was, and the cops wouldn't take it seriously, that there was a missing person. Okay.
1 day later, they opened an investigation.
Interesting. Susie Steimel reporting live from San Francisco. Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie. Okay. I highly recommend this. I will get copyright struck for it. It's called Curious Dark. It's very interesting. This person put a lot of effort into it, and I will link it below. And it is about the disappearance. But now we're going to move to something else. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little bit more like where he lived. So this is the community. Okay. And this is Google Maps. Look at me being gray hues. Oh, look around. Look at my maps, everybody. I got me some maps. Isn't that cool? Nobody else has these. No one else has access. No one else has access to these maps. That's how I talk to Mookies. Poor, slow quality, courtesy of StreamYard. Get StreamYard now. It's worth the exorbitant prices. Thank you, Jesus. Sorry, Satan. Indeed. So, this is 235 Clare Street. Well, he's this one right here. Okay. I think that's 235 Clare. Yeah. This is in San Francisco. Now, as you can see, as we zoom in, that's fucking filthy. What even is that? Padlocks. Oh, no. Why? Because this is May 2019. Okay. So these are those planters I was talking about. Ours were ceramic. So they were much heavier, but these are giant wooden planters. See how the plants are dying? Very sad. See how there's graffiti? Do you see how everything's gone to shit? There's stains. The windows no longer have the beautiful curtains. The plants all in here are gone. It's just abandoned. It's sad. But this is just a few months after the August discovery of his body. So this is October of 2017. So this is approximately 10 or 11 months, 10 months, I think, before this fella's passed away. Look at the beautiful curtains. Look at how clean he keeps his shit, like a brand new sneaker. Look at how fed the plants are, how watered. We got one little dud over there, but it's the seasons are changing. Okay, it's October. It's getting cooler. So over here, another one. He's watering the plant. He's got cacti. He's an artist. He's got cacti. Okay, it's upkept. Look at all these beautiful, gorgeous plants in the walkway. Look how beautiful and inviting that is. It's hard to see the door, but it's not covered in weird shit and fur. Okay? You go here to February 2017. A few months before that, it's Shitty Buddy. Thank you, StreamYard. Okay? And so on and so forth. Eventually, if you go really far back to before, like way before, like about 10 years before. No, I got that timing wrong. 7 years before this crime happened, before this was shut down. And a lot of these buildings are finally starting to get knocked down, which is sad, to make these big concrete block structures. You could see his plants there, but this is his shit. He's still got the signature white curtains, but he has a lovely mural of people dancing in the nude. Odd-shaped butt crack, that's fun. Now, there is a picture that somebody took, and they posted a screenshot of it. And it's two dudes hanging out outside the apartment from around the time that he went missing. Let me find it, because they are here on Google Maps. And this person posted this on Reddit, insinuating that these two guys, in fact, not even insinuating, I can just show you. But I'd like to show you on here. It's just difficult because the dates toggle. There they are. So these two fellas are hanging out outside the gate, right? This one's in a Gap hoodie. He seems to be perhaps, Middle Eastern descent, maybe Latino. This other one kind of looks like a Degrassi character. Someone who works at a GameStop. So a person posted this, insinuating that old Star Wars and old Gap were the murderers or the people that were accused initially, who ended up getting off from the DA. And I'm going to show you the post they made. And then we're going to do a myth bust, okay? Because I looked into it, and guess what? It's not them. Spoiler alert, not fucking them. Ooh, I opened the wrong tab. Give me a moment. My world is crumbling. The information was hot dropped into a San Francisco rumors subreddit. So take from that what you will. But yes, a user thinks that they were being a bit of a sleuthy sleuth, when really they were being a bit of a racist. Doing the old brown people all look alike shindig, doing that whole thing, that whole op. And it's wild as fuck that they posted this. Let me find it. Here it is. A couple guys hanging outside their house bear a resemblance to the accused. So much so that I saw fit to make a Photoshop or a screenshot comparing the photos of the accused and these two fellas. And then to take that and then to put it on the internet without knowing for sure, because I think that these are the guys who did it. And so let's take a look at what they came up with, okay? Get ready, because boy, is this going to shock you. So some genius on Reddit says, hey, look, this is clearly this guy, and this guy is clearly this guy. Well, shocking spoiler alert. Nope. This actually dude that lives in the neighborhood. He's actually in an interview. Not that guy. He's different body type altogether. And this guy is Latino. This guy is Middle Eastern. And they look nothing alike. Also, a neighbor. So, these people are neighborhood people. They're not the killers. But this is the type of shit that people put on Reddit. And then other people believe. And then it becomes a, oh my God, the killing Google Maps type of situation. There's no need for that. There's no need for excess when it was already so bad. Anyway, that is to Brian Egg, and I'm paused. I don't even know if you're getting any of this information. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you're getting any. Oh, good. Shout outs to StreamYard. You fucking suck. So that's the story of Brian Egg. I don't know if you could hear any of that. It could just be, I don't know. StreamYard's being great. So that's the story of Brian Egg. That's what happened to him. And San Francisco police have done nothing. Again, just like they did with Katie Janess, which also happens to be a murder that happened in the LGBTQ HGTV community that seemed to be neglected or ignored. After a couple of pops on the news, a plea for the public's help, like we're supposed to do their fucking jobs, a bungled crime scene, all sorts of shit wrong. And then they let the most suspicious people just fucking dance away. Okay. It's a pity. And it's weird. I think Derek's onto something. So he's putting in his tips. And if anybody happens to be watching this in the future and has a tip about Brian Egg, you should put a tip in too. It's very important. I would call San Francisco police or go to Crime Stoppers San Francisco. With that said, there are a couple of similar murders in the area. One was a 2017 killing of Nanette Krentel. Or not, sorry, in the area. They're the same type of or similar type of crime. And then there is a Louisiana preschool teacher that's Krentel. And her killing. And the wife of a local fire chief. And this Elizabeth Suggle. Anyway, all of these crimes that have something in common. They made into some series. And it's called Unsolved. Okay, I swear this isn't an ad. But I haven't watched it yet. And they supposedly have like the broadest documentary or like, if you will, an episode of true crime shit where they go through this case in depth. I've not watched it yet. Apparently there are other big cases that are similar in that they've been neglected and there's a ton of evidence and it's supposed to be great. So I'm going to be watching that. And I'd love to have Derek on in the near future. Hopefully they will respond to your tip, sir. But that is a story of Brian Egg. And I'm still looking into it. And I don't want to accuse anybody of anything just yet. But I do find it absurd that, you know, Jeffrey ends up with Roxanne's ID. You end up with a missing or dead person's ID. That's a problem to me. And he's allowed to go. Not even question. Here, have her ID back, which is totally fucking illegal. Okay? Fuck you, Texas. This guy, I mean, they stole his credit. They bought a BMW. They squatted. They swindled the neighbors. They lied. They, you know, hired a crime scene cleanup vet. Like, it's absurd. And then the fish, oh yeah, the body was chopped up and put in a fish tank. And they're allowed to go. And David was allowed to go on tour and do all these things. When they had an investigation into him for child pedophilia and then the girl disappears, that was supposedly a witness and nobody, and yet TMZ had, it's a lot. So the disturbing disappearance of Brian Egg on Curious Dark, also very informative. I would highly recommend it. That's all. That's it. That's all we're going to talk about. I'm not going to show you any gruesome pictures or anything like that, but that's the story. And I will put a thread on Reddit. I have other things to add there. I will do that tonight during the NBA playoffs. Who do you got between the feckin' Cavaliers and the Knicks? Who do you have? Who's going to win? They did do that. they did get that Tanner Fecker. That's true. Good to see you, C. Smith. I love you all. You're the best. Thank you for being here. You think Knicks? Cavs or Knicks? Cavs or Knicks? Who you got? We know the overall answer. Who's winning the whole thing is the Spurs. Who's going honking tonight? The Cavaliers or the Knicks? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of your support. Click the like button if you enjoyed this. And if you fucking hated it, click the dislike button and then talk shit to me in the comments. Hugin sends his blessing. I love you all. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you want to discuss this case, discuss it below, or you can go to our Reddit, which is Oblivious Benson subreddit. I've said it all. I think it's important to end on something positive because this was all very dark and distressful and a very fucked up case. I had to dissociate and shield myself with a veil of humor and petty asides because it really does fuck me. It's so sad. It fucks anybody. It should fuck anybody up to hear shit like that. But God. But you know what doesn't fuck me up to hear? You know what never fucks me up to hear? This woman complaining. Good night.
I'm not quite sure why I'm here or what I'm doing, but there's a reason.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd.
Again, we're here to hear comments about the rezoning.
Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the